The world's most famous petrol head, Lewis Hamilton, backs Just Stop Oil. I will be dealing with this eco-hypocrite at 10 o'clock in my Take at 10. It's time now for Mark Meets, in which I speak to the biggest names in the world of politics, showbiz, sport and beyond. Tonight, the king of British theatre, the man who brought the Lion King to Britain, Paul Gregg. Paul is an acclaimed businessman and entertainment impresario who built Apollo Leisure Group into the UK's biggest theatre owner and the largest independent family-run cinema chain in Britain. Paul, welcome to Mark Dolan tonight.
Thank you.
You are that rare beast, somebody that makes money from theatre. What's the secret?
Losing money as well.
So is it a little bit like the hedge funds and you sort of, you do well with some and lose on others?
I think the interesting thing is, and maybe one story reflects it, was many years ago we'd seen The Sound of Music was a huge hit in the Palladium, and we'd had Sound of Music.
Mamma Mia as well.
Yeah, and I decided I'd like Richard Harris in Camelot. And we did record opening week, and the critics hated it, and it dived, and we lost 750 grand. Which was a lot of money in those days.
Yeah, that's it. And there's no monopoly on wisdom. Lloyd Webber has lost money.
Everybody loses money.
Simon Cowell has lost money. So yeah, it's up and down. But why have you had more hits than misses?
I think we were around at the right time. I think we just started buying theatres when people didn't want theatres, and we gradually built them into the...
So you did a Warren Buffett. You bought when shares were low.
In a way, yes, I suppose so.
And then what's important is what shows you put on at those theatres, wasn't it? It wasn't just the purchase and the refurbishment, it was the programming.
No, I suppose our ideal success was the Lyceum. They'd been closed for 40 years as a theatre, and we bought it, refurbished it.
Beautiful theatre, yeah.
It is now.
You spend how many million on that?
13 million, which was a bit of a shock. We thought the Royal Opera House might move there while they did their refurbishment, but they weren't bright enough to see that their audience could park in the same car parks, use the same restaurants, and 50 yards down the road, the Lyceum was there.
Well, listen, it is remarkable. Will technology eventually kill off theatres?
I don't think so. I think you can see audiences love to be involved in theatre. They love it. I mean, we've got this very simple show, Tony and Tina's Wedding. Yeah. I say simple, but it is the most immersive event.
Tony and Tina's Wedding. It's 15th of July is when it launches.
22nd.
22nd, OK, so 22nd of July. Is it previews from the 15th or something like that?
No, previews from the 22nd.
Oh, is it brilliant? Well, that's great. So 22nd of July, and it is an unusual kind of theatre, isn't it? Because you get a story, you get drama, you get songs, and the people that have bought tickets get a meal.
Correct.
So what would you call that?
Tony and Tina's Wedding.
Right, and it's dinner theatre, I suppose, is it?
It is, but basically it's about an Italian wedding, two Italians getting married, and they go, and it's all the usual things. So you've got bridesmaids, one who's pregnant, you've got a father who's living with a stripper, and it's just absolute fun.
And it's really interactive. So punters that will go, they'll have a lovely meal, they'll have a glass of wine, and they will be in amongst it, like they're at the wedding.
Correct, absolutely.
OK, and listen, you've been in hot water. Controversy about the show. What's happened?
Well, the Transport for London didn't like our poster. They
didn't like the poster?
They said it had a wedding cake on, and you can't promote cakes on the tube.
Why can't you promote cakes on the tube?
They don't want people eating sweets and cakes.
It's ridiculous. So that's a wedding cake. I mean, the show's about a wedding. And now I think we've got another image, and it's the after image without the cake, which is fine, but not nearly as much fun. Well, listen, you've cheered me up because you've brought some cake into the studio, which I want to thank you about. This looks very, very posh indeed. Let's see what I've... You know, normally I do watch those carbohydrates, Paul, but on this occasion I'm happy to make an exception. Look at that. I'm going to do something very dangerous that the Mayor of London doesn't want us to do. I'm going to eat cake, and let's hope it doesn't kill me. Here we go. Absolutely delicious. Mayor Khan, you can do one. There you go. Well, lots of cake at this show. You yourself, Paul, are the picture of health. You could be on a beach now. What drives you?
I don't know. I just enjoy the theatre, and I've enjoyed it all my life, or seen some opportunities.
But where do you get the energy from? Am I allowed to say that you're in your 9th decade?
That sounds awful.
No, but you look so youthful. You've got endless energy, haven't you?
I seem to have, yes. I'm enjoying that, yeah.
So where does it come from?
I think my wife is my guiding, don't drink that, don't eat that, don't this, take the other. But no, she's fantastic.
Well, I'll be honest with you, you look incredible. Frankly, you could be on stage as well as backstage, given those Hollywood good looks that you've got. Let's talk about the entertainment business generally. Cinemas is something you've invested in, and that's been a hard area, particularly during the pandemic. Do you think you can bounce back?
I think cinemas will bounce back. They're in for a great month. They've got, obviously, Indiana Jones out there. They've got Barbie. They've got Mission Impossible. They've got a list of movies that this month should give them a great month.
Yeah.
So I think it can... I mean, look, you can't beat going to the cinema if the presentation's good.
That's exactly right. And we've got flat screen tellies at home, but people love that shared experience. Briefly, what's next for you? What's on the list of things to achieve that you haven't already?
I just really would like to see Tony and Tina settle down to be a long-running show in London.
Yeah. Maybe like the Mousetrap, just be there forever.
Well, it ran 25 years off Broadway, so why not?
Fantastic stuff. The greatest privilege to meet a great British entrepreneur, impresario, and deliverer of delicious cakes, by the way.
It's a pleasure.
Right?
It's you have to come to the opening
first
night.
bit of sugar I've eaten in about 6 months.
Very good.
Enjoyed every second. My thanks to a true British great. There you go, the one and only Paul Gregg. Let me tell you that Tony and Tina's wedding tickets are available. 22nd of July is when it starts. Go to TonyNTinaWestEnd.com. There you go, brilliant stuff.